Hi friends, this is Yana, Israeli News Live. I'm in Steve's studio, just doing informal talk with you today. You know, I like it like this on my channel because I don't have to worry about anything formal, Steve.
That's right.
Like when you summon me to your INL, I gotta be really professional, but not here.
You gotta walk the chalk line.
That's right. Well, anyway, there is some weird, bizarre things happening, and I think they're applying Nazi style science here and trying to make excuses. So in the name of COVID-19, we accept treatment like this. Okay, listen to this article. This is from Futurism. Yeah, scientists say trained dogs can smell coronavirus. Interesting. Let's read this. Researchers at the University of Veterinary Medicine in Hanover, Germany, have found that dogs are able to sniff out coronavirus that causes COVID-19 with astonishing accuracy. During tests, they found that 8 dogs from Germany's military could correctly identify the presence of the coronavirus 94% of the time. We think that this works because the metabolic processes in the body of a diseased patient is completely changed. Well, I'm sorry, but any disease can change metabolic processes in the body, not just COVID-19. I mean, it's well known that the trained dogs can detect cancer in a person, and they can smell things that we can't. Okay, so that's nothing new. And look where they're going with this. It says here that some professor at the university said in a video statement posted by the university on YouTube, "We think that the dogs are able to detect a specific smell produced by the metabolic process." Well, okay, but then now what? Despite dogs being used to sniff out a variety of contraband substances and even explosives at airports and other locations, people have not really realized the potential a dog could have to detect diseased from not diseased patient. Wow, they just found out dogs can sniff COVID-19. So look what they are here suggesting. They're saying the researchers suggested that the dog sniffing method could be employed in public areas such as airports, sports events, borders, and other mass gatherings, according to the video's caption. But only in addition to existing lab testing. Did you hear this, Steve? They want to use dogs to sniff people on top of testing, on top of, vaccinating and all of that, all these terrorizing things. Now they
do it intentionally.
That's intentional. This is terror. Okay, who wants to be in public
Look at
sport
how many
event?
people are afraid of dogs in the first place.
Exactly. How intimidating it is to be somewhere outside and some person in a uniform has a dog and these dogs are sniffing you,
Right.
and then they supposedly smell on you COVID-19. Well, dogs can be specifically trained for COVID-19. How about COVID-15 or COVID-16? Because we had coronaviruses for like 60 years now. That's a common cold virus or exosome, okay? Or what if the person has some other illness that dogs can detect? How do they know it's exactly COVID-19? And who wants to be in any public event when dogs are sniffing you? This is applying terror, people. This is so in the name of COVID, you will accept terror and control. This is a Nazi technique. This is what Nazis used, okay? And I was doing a research how Nazis were applying dogs to terrorize the prisoners. Here's the article. I can leave you links for that. Like here, the Times of Israel. This is a little trailer of a documentary where they took blind people from Israel and they went to Auschwitz and they took their guide dogs, and this particular documentaries talking about how dogs can be used for a good purpose. Dog is a friend of a person, or it can be used as a instrument of terror and trained as an instrument of terror, okay? And how people can be afraid of dogs, you know? So this is the thing. This is to terrorize us further. And some other bizarre things they're doing, which makes me, you know, believe, Steve, that people behind it are Satanists. And they're in this religion of Illuminati, okay, and pedophilia. I'm not kidding you. Look at this, rectal swabs for COVID-19 diagnosis. They're trying to say in those scientific documents that if you come up negative on a nasal swab or oral swab, then they have to perform rectal swab, because when you're negative in your nose or in your mouth, you are sure positive. No, I don't want to say the bad way.
Well, you know, Yana, it's like you said too, though. It's so much like Nazi Germany, and the humiliation
Terror.
of the prisoners there.
That's what it is. You know, there is a place for rectal swab. I understand as an ex-nurse that there is a place for it and a time for it. But for a supposed SARS virus, for a supposed respiratory virus, they're going to do rectal swabs. Okay, coronavirus may be spreading so quickly due to fecal transmission now. You know, isn't it interesting, Steve, that corona does anything they want it to do?
Oh, yeah.
Anything.
I guess people are just crapping on each other, and that's how they're getting it.
No, but look at this, okay? Let me see what they have here. I'll stop this as we go. Coronavirus may be spreading so quickly due to fecal transmission now. New research says. Wow, we have got some Nazi researchers and scientists. I guess these are the same ones that the United States brought to America from Operation Paperclip, I think. And now the American people and the world population is like little experimental guinea pigs.
This is how you know, Yana, like you said to me, it's more like Nazi Germany, because we brought over on Operation Paperclip these families, and their children are now in power, and what do you expect out of them? The same perversions that their parents
That's
did.
right, exactly. Look at this. Coronavirus may be spreading so quickly due to fecal transmission. It says new research. I wonder what the other new research will say and where it all will end up. Those with confirmed cases of the novel coronavirus, aka COVID-19, have live virus in stool specimens. In addition to spreading via close contact, COVID-19 can also be transmitted via fecal oral route. Okay. Essentially, COVID-19 can pass from person to person. Even infected person does not wash their hands. All right, washing of hands, I understand this is like something that is very common sense. Hepatitis, cholera, and viruses that cause gastroenteritis are also transmitted this way. But look at this. Another investigation found that rectal swabs may be the best method. Do you hear this? Rectal swabs are the best method for testing for COVID-19. Don't be surprised, friends, if like next year we all gonna have to do rectal swabs.
Sounds like a bunch of perverts.
Yeah, like pedophilia, because they want to mainly apply this to children, according to my research. Researchers found that anal swabs can detect novel coronavirus even when oral tests come up negative. Now, this is a bomb. That means that if you're negative in your nose or a mouth, well, wait a minute, don't rest yet, okay? Bury your bottom, because we're gonna have to do anal swab, because over there you might be positive. Can you believe this? Can you believe this insanity, what they're doing to people? Or at least I'm not saying that that's what they're doing like right now, but look what they're talking about. So it wouldn't surprise me if they brought all of this stuff out. Look at that. Yeah. These findings can help explain why COVID-19 seems to be spreading rapidly. Yeah, there are false positives and there are lying numbers, right? Okay. So this is what they're doing. And I found another study here. Let me see. Rectal swabs for COVID-19 diagnosis. And if you read this, this is exactly what they're saying. They're saying that people, when they're negative in their nasal swabs, there are about 36 to 53% of patients are positive in rectal swabs. So it says here, therefore, after, you can read this, I'll leave you a link, but it says here that 39 out of 73 hospitalized patients had viral RNA in their feces from 1 to 12 days. Therefore, the occurrence of orophycal route points toward the usefulness of rectal swabs at the very onset of the disease to confirm or even diagnose COVID-19. They want to diagnose COVID-19 by rectal swabs. A rectal swab could be performed also in absence of digestive symptoms in persons who meet one of the two following criteria. Now, oh my God, Steve, listen to this. That means you don't have to have any belly pain. You don't have to feel nauseated or vomit. You have zero symptoms, right? Look at this. Number one, if your throat or sputum negative patient with symptoms, signs, or instrumental exam that are suspicious for COVID-19, meaning that you are only suspicious for COVID-19, you can have a rectal swab to prove that you do have indeed COVID-19, or a throat or sputum negative subjects with close or causal contacts with confirmed cases. That means that you were with somebody who was diagnosed as COVID, but then they perform a nasal swab and you're negative, right? You're negative, you're not sick. Well, it doesn't matter. We can still do rectal swabs and prove to you that you are indeed sick because your rectal swabs might be showing COVID. Can you imagine this? What they're talking about in these scientific magazines? I cannot even, oh, this is just sick. Steve, this is sick. This is a psychopathic insanity. And it's not science, friends. It's not science at all. Now, of course, before I was already showing you about 2 months ago, we reported with Steve on INL that they are doing these weird things like, here it is, they were doing experiments giving men estrogens. Supposedly, estrogens help men survive COVID-19. This is... Now, I'm not saying that they're applying this in hospitals today, but they were doing experiments like this. And here they're saying now that coronavirus may be sexually transmitted and cause male infertility. You see? So now you can get it through sex. So you can get it through, transmission through things or touching things. Now you can get it through fecal transmission. Now you can get it through sexual transmission. You can get it through respiratory transition. So everything, every illness, every symptom is now COVID-19. So if you cannot see this propaganda, what they have done to humanity, and people in the name of this virus are going to accept this torture and are accepting the torture. You can just look at the people around you of how they accepted masking, muzzles, right? And here I got this is newsletter by Sophia Smallstorm. Now, of course, she's not a Christian lady, but she's a great researcher, and I just received her newsletter. I'm on the list for her newsletter. And the last part of her newsletter explains, it's subtitled Occultic Takeover, and she's talking about COVID programming and how all of this masking is a ritual, it's a proven demonic ritual when they're transferring people from old order to the new order. And these masks are basically an outward expression of our submission to our masters and our submission to this new world order system that they're bringing in. So that's pretty interesting. But anyway, friends, I just wanted to tell you all of this weird Nazi style things that they're trying to bring in on us, like sniffing dogs in public areas. Can you believe this? What a sick individuals. But anyway, friends, okay, love you guys, and we'll be talking to you soon.